Lo-Fi Glow by Native Instruments. This is part of the Play series. And what they did here is they sampled keys, synths, guitars, basses, and processed them to create this lo-fi kind of feeling. And what I'll do here is I'm gonna show you how it works. There are some things that you can find here very interesting, like all the workflow and things that are kind of under the hood. And then we'll do a quick demo of some of the presets. Let's get started. Lo-Fi Glow follows the same idea as other instruments in the Play series, where you have the A layer, B layer, and you can blend them together. So here we have these two layers, and I can actually click this and change the preset or change the sample for A. And we have a browser here, so you have a lot of choices. And once you select any of these samples, you'll see the little A to designate this sample here. So this is the A, and we can do the same for the B, and that's how you set the samples for the layers. Now I can blend in A and B using the balance control here. So going all the way to the left will give me 100% A. All the way to the right will give me 100% B. So you can start with whatever preset you want, and then you can tweak and change it and just experiment with that. Now, each of these presets will have different macros, and you see these macros here. And I'll show you how you can program or how you can set those macros yourself, or if you create your own preset. So this is very interesting as well. And of course, we have volume control, and we can randomize those macros here. So let's dive into the sound section. And in the sound section, you'll see that we again have the A layer, the B layer. The controls are identical, and you can set for each of the layers, you can set the transpose, tune, panning, volume. We have some effects like reduction, beat reduction, a crusher, noise, color, and we have a filter. So you can turn on and off. Right now it's turned on. So if you want to disengage any of the controls here, just click this on and off, and you'll see it's red. Red means that it doesn't work. And we can click this drop down here to select the type of filter. And some of the filters, like the ladder, will also have a gain option here. The gain is the drive inside the filter. Now, just like a synthesizer, we also have mod envelope, amp envelope. We have two LFOs, so it's pretty cool. And the way they implemented this is very interesting as well. So I can select the LFO here, LFO 1, and immediately you'll see these little sliders beside the controls that are available for you. So for example, I can set this to the volume. And let's go all the way up 100%, and now this LFO will affect the volume. And I can set the rate in hertz or in parts. And we can change the LFO's waveform by clicking this control here, click and drag up and down, and you'll have different waveforms that will, of course, have a different behavior on the different parameters that you manipulate. So this is the idea here, and if you want to have the mod envelope, for example, to manipulate any of the parameters, for example, the tuning, then you click the mode envelope here and you'll see the little sliders, and we can set the tuning here. So that's the idea here. Very, very interesting. Try it out, play with that, experiment, and see how it works. So let's go back to the main view. Click the X, and we can also see that we have a sequencer here. So this is right now it's turned off. Let's turn it on and go inside. So this is the sequencer, and we have a pitch and velocity controls here. Now I can do something like that. So what we see here is that we can have a number of steps here. Right now it's set to 16. I can go for even just 4 for the example. And we also have the option to gate. And we have the direction. Of course, we can control the rate, swing, and we also have some other controls. So let's play with the rate here. Right, so this is the sequencer. Try and play with that. We can also have something very interesting here. We can lock this to a scale. So for example, let's lock it to major. And let's have some more steps. All right, and let's even have more steps. Right, and it really depends on the sound that you choose right now. Let's try and just use something else, and I'll turn on the sequencer. And let's select an like harmonic minor. And we can change the rate. So very interesting and very, very useful. We also have the macros controls here, and we can use this sequencer to sequence the macros. And we have filter and phaser. And we have the beat crusher, bright. And we also have the noise and delay. So essentially, these macros are set to whatever macros that you have in this preset. So if we'll select a different preset, let's just select something else and we'll have a look. So now we have filter, attack, release, saturation, beat crusher, space, and this is what we'll see in those options here in the sequencer. So I can set the filter. So this will actually control how the filter works. Cool, let's go back to our main view here. I'm gonna close the sequencer and we'll have a look at the macros. So this is, again, very interesting because you see on the top here the names of the macros, and they are, of course, identical to the controls on the bottom. And what I can do here is I can set the minimum and maximum values for the particular macro selected. So for example, I can select the delay and I'll turn this something like this, and it means that this delay control will behave in the range set by the minimum and the maximum. So there are some more advanced features here, like for example we can change this curve here, and it will affect how the macros are actually behaving in real time when you play, and you can draw this. Let's try something else. And we have a phaser and a reverb here. So how do you actually set the macros? Let's go back to the effects here. And we can see that we have different effects. So right now that's the chain. And we have equalizer for A, equalizer for the B layer, and then we'll have a chain that is combined. And right now we have tape saturation, we have distortion, and so on. And you can click the drop down here and select different effects. And you'll see the controls here in the middle. So this is what we have. But if I want to have, for example, saturation knob, this knob here to control the bit depth, then I can click this little LED here, this little light, and it will flick. And now I can just click any of the controls. And I'll have the macro assign here, and I can set the range. And for example, this. And now the saturation knob here will change the bit here. Right, and I'll see this little dot here, and I can do the same for example, I can go and say, okay, this same same macro will control the sample rate as well, and I can do this. So this is how you do it. Very interesting, very easy, very intuitive. You just have to know what you need to do is click this little light here and then select the parameter. And I can do this also in the sound area here in the sound view. I can go and click the phaser and select, for example, the resonance. And now this phaser will control also the resonance. And last, we also have some other settings here. For example, we can set, and this is very interesting, we can set the range of keys for the A layer and the B layer. So right now, both of them cover the entire set of keys, but I can set A to start with C-2 here and end somewhere else, for example, C4, and then I can set the B layer to start at C4 or D, whatever, and then they will not overlap. Okay, so that's very, very interesting. And if you have a complete control keyboard, then you'll see the lights. You'll see yellow for overlapping. You'll see red for the A layer and blue for the B layer. So let's try that. And so now I even have some overlapping area, and that's very interesting to know and very useful. So we can also use some glide. We can change the pitch bending and some other controls. You can check out the manual for more information. I think that's enough for now. So this is Lo-Fi Glow, and I'm gonna just show you some of the presets, and you can go to Native Instruments product page for more information and user manual for in-depth kind of stuff that I didn't cover. So that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.